Yeah, we're just playing some early morning GTA today. No one's on, just me. I'm gonna grind some money. So guys, if you want, like, I think it's a mil, you have to go to your social club and then type in your Twitch, and then you can get both of them. And you can get, I forget what all you get, but, oh, I was not ready for that. But yes. That's so annoying. Get popped. Sorry guys, I'm not talking. I mean, I'm kind of like the one that doesn't really talk and streams a lot. And Zach Montoya usually is. So. But yeah guys, go watch my yesterday's stream. Dude, it was fire. It's really fun, and I got a lot done. Get the fuck off, you piece of shit. Don't ever shoot. Don't shoot. If you freaking screw him, you fucking bitch. Good thing my thing's really close over here. Damn, dude, that's so much, dude. Oh. Bro, everything's hitting me. Of course, everything has to be hitting me right now. Of course, everything has to be hitting me. That's so annoying. Dude! Bro! Let's go! Get off me! Bro, stop hitting me!
It's Trav's birthday, by the way. Happy birthday! Yay! Of course, these two fine little specimens. Look at them. If you're new here, my name is Jay. Welcome to the vlog. We are on the road to 20 million subscribers. Smash the subscribe button. This is the Gta5 and we keep it there every single day. Right? Looks like fun. No. What? I'm jackfooting. You know when they do those sequences where like something flies off and then it passes? Hurry up, Ari! Camera! We're all leaving the house today. We're going on a little bit of an adventure. We're always in. I know I'm coming. We're all. I know! We're always trying to get in the house today, so you know we're gonna go adventure. We don't know what we're gonna do yet. It's an adventure day. We're gonna let the person who walks in front of us decide what we do next in this video. Backhand that, subscribe button. I'm about to pass Logan and subscribe. No, I've been saying it, but then Logan got like 3 puppies, so it helped the channel. And they literally all dying, like it's sad. They're all dying, like stay right with us. Rest in peace, Ari. Yeah, we're gonna kill Ari. Happy So yeah, we're gonna let the person in front of us when we walk out decide what we do next. Hey, strangers, tell us what to do. Everyone wanted to ask you a question and we had any advice. We don't know what to do today, so we're letting a stranger decide what we do. Can you give us an activity? Anything you say we're gonna do. Anywhere. It's all on you. Hiking in Malibu. Hiking in Malibu. That's what he said. That's what he said. We gotta hike in Malibu. You don't want to hike on your birthday? Hike. He's young. Well, we literally have to do this. We have no choice. Tell us what to do. What are we doing? Keep out at you, man. What I'm saying is like, wow, look at this view. We haven't even started hiking yet. We're literally in a cloud. We're so high up. What? What, Fergie? Fergie! Fergalicious definition. Make them That's sexual? So close. Ryan, what do you think? Try it now. Strangers, tell us what to do. Wait, no, red block on, red block on. Strangers at the party. Happy birthday. Get everything. Literally get everything.
Yeah.
That was only $600 worth of confetti pops. 37 minute footage. So do you guys want to like go ask another stranger what to do? Okay, on to the next mission. So, the interest in letting them know today is Dad's birthday, but it is also Titus's birthday tomorrow. Literally, like, I find it weird that their birthdays are like right after each other, but Titus is like my main homie. Like, that's like my little brother. And Titus, if you're watching this, I love you, bro. You're so cute. I love making videos with you. I love playing with you around the house, watching you run around, watching you grow up in general is just like super dope. Like when I first met you, you were like this tall, like literally, and now you're like twice that size. So happy birthday, Titus. You're such a smart kid. And so nice. Because of that, I'm gonna destroy and break all of your toys. I'm gonna buy toys, a bunch of toys for Titus, like a lot of toys right now, like immense toys, the new toys, more toys than he has. But before I give it to him, I'm gonna break all the ones that he has right now. Evil. birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Molly. It's happy birthday to you. I'm gonna go back to the street corner. I always get you on the phone. Sam used to kick us out of Target. Now we're friends. So yeah, you're blowing up. Listen, were you watching? Oh no, no. You heard? What? I'm taking your toys. What? What? No, hey, chill, hey! Whoa. No, stop, hide. What?
You stole my toy!
No, no.
Bro.
Some good news. You want to hear some good news? What's tomorrow? It's your birthday. 35. 35 years old. And these toys, they're kind of old, right? So I thought I would prank you and break your toys, and then come here. Let's come here. Come here. And then surprise you with the new one. These are all your toys, buddy. Happy birthday. I love you, buddy. I would never break your toys. You got a date? And you got a date? There's toys for dates. I know. It goes on and on. I know your favorite. Oh, you know! I told you I know your favorite, cuz.
What up?
There's a T-Rex. Yeah. And a really fast remote control car.
Thank you so much, Dave.
Look at, and we got you this thing. I don't even know what that is. It's cool, right? I got you a rocket blaster. And a bunch of other stuff, buddy. You like that? Lady the Queen. Look at that. Look at that. I already said you wouldn't like that one, but I think you're gonna like it.
I think it just can be good for Darwin.
You literally said that.
I was mad at
I know, but it was a prank. I got you.
you. You beat up with it.
Yeah, I did do it. Made up with Yeah, bro. You got all the sauce now, cuz.
How am I picking it up?
There's so many toys, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna help you carry them. Can we get a thumbnail first?
One more thing before I want for my birthday.
One more thing you want for your birthday? What do you want?
Everybody go and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Leave it in the description.
Oh, that's my freaking boy! Look at
This sucks.
Having more fun breaking the toys. I'm guessing he's not gonna stop. Look at it for the video. Time to start out and go play. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to subscribe to Titus. That's what he wants for his birthday. Go get your birthday fans when I go backslash Jake Paul. Give this video a big old thumbs up.
Later.
Wait. There's one more thing I want to tell you before you go. I need you to watch the next video, guys. This is even better than the last one. Just click right here. Love you.
Hey, I'm Jay from the Cub Scouts.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm back with another Minecraft episode. That's right, welcome back to my beautiful home. It looks so good. Now, I don't think that Josh is online today. Let me quickly make sure. Josh? Hello? Josh? No, I don't think he's home. Good. Guys, I'm just gonna say it. I do not trust Slogan Man. I've seen your comments. Everyone is telling me that he's hiding stuff from me, that he's stealing stuff, and just being a cheater. Really, he's cheating on our relationship. Like you guys know, he literally blew up my house in one of the first episodes, and, well, I don't really like where this is going. Before we get started, I've got a question for you. I've hid a diamond in either of these chests. If you think the diamond is in the left chest, make sure you like the video. And if you think the diamond is in the right chest, then subscribe right now. Have you made your decision? Okay, here we go. The diamond's in the left chest. Were you right? Let me know in the comments. Now, talking about the comment section, I see a lot of them, all right? I read every single comment. And I've actually got a couple of really good tips. And the first one is from Adrian Verde, and he says that I should find some green dye to make a green bed. Oh, yes! I know how to make green dye. I have to make it with cactuses. Look at them. They're right over there. Lucky enough, we live near, like, a little bit of a deserted area. And we have cactuses here. Look at this. Ooh, yay! Oh, there we go. All right, so now let's take our bed, put it in the crafting table with the green dye, and boom! The bed appeared. Now that looks good. Now I want to thank Adrian. He's been really nice. And that's why I'm creating the Wall of Fame. There we go. He's on here. Thank you, man. Now I have a really helpful comment that I've seen from Aaron. He tells me I need to make a shield, and to be very honest with you, I really do. So I think I know how to make one. You put the iron ingot in the middle, and then you surround it with some wood. No. Okay, how do you do this? Oh, like this! A shield! Aaron! That's so nice of you! Look at that! I've got a shield now. Thank you, Aaron! Oh, that looks beautiful. So if you have a tip for my Minecraft rolls, I will add your name here if I like your idea. Like I said, I don't trust this guy. He literally put the cursor binding armor thing on me. Well, I didn't realize the game was well. Still, now a lot of people have been telling me that he's been hiding things. For example, I think he took my compass because I had one a while ago and it just kind of disappeared. Now the comments are also telling me that he's hiding diamonds. Now, if I look at all these chests, guys, I'm not sure, but I'm not seeing any diamonds.
We did it together. ESPN sports fans have raised over $100 million for the Gta5 Foundation. Thank you, and bless you. Thank you. We're not done. We won't ever be done.
He's been here. Doesn't really seem to be around
One of the
here.
most important things we do here at ESPN is support the B Foundation for Cancer Research. Last night during the ESPYs, it was announced that we, meaning you and ESPN, have raised $100 million for the B Foundation in the fight against cancer. That is an amazing achievement. So thank you to everyone for your support. And please know we are not giving up until we win this fight. All right, let's transition back to what we've been talking about really all show, and that's free agency and the NBA and what's going on there. Let's talk about the moves that have been made in the offseason. What would you say is the most overrated move so far?
Well, as you pointed out a moment ago, how many different All-Stars switched teams this season? 5 different All-Stars. So which one do I think has the least impact on the outcome of this next season? The one that I don't fully understand. So which one is most overrated? It's Jimmy Butler to the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat aren't in a situation where that roster is competing for a title. I understand who Jimmy Butler is. I understand how good Jimmy Butler is. Also, by the way, know the trouble that has followed Jimmy Butler at not one, but at least two different locations. So the Heat, in a signing trade, decide now is their window, now is their time to go in on a star in his prime. Why? What about Jimmy Butler makes sense for the Miami Heat? I look at this roster: Justice Winslow, Kelly Olynyk, Goran Dragic. And I'm thinking, that's not beating the Celtics. That's not beating the Sixers. That's not beating the Bucks. And you can build from the ground up. You can build your assets. You can put together a team like the Nets did, or the Clippers did, that were scrapping teams and then brought in your free agents. Or you can do this, which is I don't understand what this model is. You can bring in a star that doesn't quite fit everybody else on your roster, and what? What is your best hope? Use him as a lure to bring in somebody else, maybe grab Russell Westbrook? I still don't see how you pull off that deal. Brian, when I add it up, I just don't see how Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat make a ton of sense.
I don't know how you put Jimmy Butler in the same statement with the word overrated. And I understand maybe you're looking at the Miami Heat, but when I look at Miami, I look at Spoelstra, a guy that I competed against, well, he coached and I played against for a long time and I have a deep respect. I'm looking at Pat Riley. I'm looking at now the opportunity that Russell Westbrook becomes available and is now on the market to come out and actually join. So I don't see anything overrated about it. As we talked about earlier,
What is that? Jimmy Butler right now, no Russell Westbrook. What is that in what is that Miami Heat?
it's a playoff
16,
thing. It's a
17.
playoff thing. They make the playoffs. And I understand your challenge is contending. And what's funny to me,
Hey, by the way, this isn't an East that's wide open. This isn't an East where you have a real chance to contend. And you just said Jimmy Butler to the Heat adds up to a playoff.
what's funny to me, you're the same guy that comes on national TV on your little radio show and says you hate super teams. And then you come out and out of your mouth, you hate that Jimmy Butler chose a team without a star. So for you, look, I have no idea. What side are you on? Super team or not? You like Jimmy Butler or not? Make your mind up.
So I understand how these things get difficult for you because all the ideas blend together at some point. But
Jimmy Butler wants to be the sole star on a team.
Hey.
A well-coached organization
Hey.
who won championships.
let's sort through
I want to know why, Will.
the fuzziness. Let's sort through the miscommunication.
Talk about your
Let's sort through. Let's sort through your inability to distinguish these ideas. Hey, never said Jimmy Butler was overrated. Don't do that. Don't spin that.
Don't even say the correct way. There's a question. What'd you say?
What's the most overrated move so far in the offseason?
It's your reading comprehension skills that are in question here, not whether or not Jimmy Butler is overrated. I never said Butler was overrated. I'm not saying that now. It's the move to Miami. I also didn't say that I begrudge Jimmy wanting to play in Miami. I didn't say.
What's your problem?
Go George.
What's your problem then? Stop throwing stuff out. What's your problem then?
Keep listening. Keep listening. Maybe that'll help you connect the dots.
You said a lot, and I haven't heard
I.
You talked a lot already. As a matter of fact, you started the segment real quick. What are you talking about?
This is your problem because you can't hear when you talk. Well, mouths make sounds, ears don't hear sounds. The thing is, I don't begrudge Jimmy wanting to play in Miami. What Charlie asked, and what I'm telling you is, what's the most overrated move of the offseason? And the Miami Heat pulling off the signing trade for Jimmy Butler, sending away Jason Richardson and other young pieces to the Sixers doesn't make sense to me because I asked myself, where does that get you, Heat? It gets you to the 6th, 7th, 8th seed in the East and out. And if you lure, do you pull Russell Westbrook? I'll wait and see. But I don't see how this move advances Miami towards the ultimate goal of winning a title. Not right now. Not with the roster they have right now.
See that? I mean, obviously not this year. That's common sense, Will. Nobody questions that. What doesn't grow on trees is clutch players. Versatility. Guys who can go out and make plays. And you talk about Jimmy Butler tearing things up in certain organizations. I assume you're talking Chicago. You're talking Minnesota. Guess what? If you don't like the truth, Jimmy Butler ain't for you because he's going to speak his mind, he's going to get on the court, and he's going to work his tail off.
Who would you say is the most overrated move,
I kind of like all the moves, baby. I kind of like all the moves.
You don't even have one.
I like players getting money. I'll be honest, I like guys getting money. If I have to throw out one, you want to put me on player apologist.
You know what you are. But you try to tell me you're a truth teller.
I'll give you one. I'll give you one.
Okay, here we go.
I am intrigued. I'm not fully sold on Brooklyn right now.
KD and Kyrie. KD and Kyrie is overrated.
I'm not fully sold. I'm not all in.
Yeah, I support you.
This isn't performance art. This isn't acting. You gotta be kidding me. I'm not all in. I'm not all in. I tell you, the Miami Heat trading for Jimmy Butler to be a 6-7 seed is overrated, and you're like, that's nuts. And then, when forced to find it, look at his face. Hey, you said KD and Kyrie to the Nets is overrated.
What's your expectation?
I don't need to talk. I don't need to talk.
Hey, let me ask you something, buddy. Open the big ears up of yours. What are the expectations for KD and Kyrie in Brooklyn? This year, knowing KD's back, what are the expectations those two playing together?
Titles.
And if
But
they
you
don't
just
do that, I
argued
don't
that
believe
this year doesn't matter. You were talking about, with future prospects, so you're going against
to
each
clarify, Charlie, once they join together, those are the expectations. I believe the move is going to be overrated. I believe it. And also, listen, there's always stuff stirring up.
The Nets were in the position that they should have been when they went for their superstar. The Nets go 10 deep. Dinwiddie, Allen, LeVert. This is a team that's ready to play. Harris, you keep going. Not unlike the Clippers. They had the base that you talked about earlier. They had a team that was a scrappy team in the playoffs, and what did they do? They were already a 6-7 seed. They added KD and Kyrie. And you call that overrated. So when they come back, they will be a favorite to win the title. When KD comes back, they will be a favorite. But that's overrated to you.
Completely.
But Jimmy Butler taking Goran Dragic. Remember the guy you put in the headlock? Goran Dragic. Remember that? Remember when you put Goran Dragic in the headlock? No? You don't remember that? Jimmy Butler and Goran Dragic being a 6 seed is not overrated.
I know this isn't water polo, but being the favorite is good enough.
He lost his face. Trying to go back to the old watercolor discussion.
Being the favorite is good enough. If you have a guy by the name of Kevin Durant, 7 feet tall, can shoot from half court, post up, take you outside, run pick, do any and everything with the talent of Kyrie Irving, and you don't get a championship. Hold on, hear me. Verify. Open the big ears of yours.
I'm gonna be honest.
You don't get a championship. It's an overrated move. And being a favorite isn't good.
Is Kawhi to the Clippers overrated?
Not at all.
Oh, what if they don't get a championship? Hold on. What if they don't get a championship?
In those 3 years that they play together, in those 3 years, okay, they don't get a championship, very overrated. I believe they get it.
All right, what do you say let's transition to the most underrated move of the offseason?
So here's mine, and it looks like Ryan just showed me his phone. This one's changing as we speak. My most underrated move of the offseason is the Golden State Warriors getting D'Angelo Russell and sign and trade from the Brooklyn Nets. Here's why. There was one team, there was one player that the Warriors could pull off the deal for, that they could bring an asset in. It's not even about who D'Angelo Russell is to me. It's not about how he fits in to the Warriors. What it's about is they were watching Kevin Durant walk away for nothing. They were already capped out. They couldn't sign a free agent. The only way they could make this work is to do a sign and trade with Brooklyn. And Brooklyn happened to have a guy who was a restricted free agent in D'Angelo Russell. The Warriors pulled off bringing in an asset when they were staring at nothingness. And by the way, I don't know if Russell will stick around. They could trade him at the trade deadline, bring in other young assets, and they continue to build under Clay and Steph. It's a genius move.
That's a cute little move from you. I kind of like that. That wasn't bad. Good job, Will. Okay. You know what I'm looking at?
He agrees with you.
I do sometimes. I mean, it's
nice. I like this.
Kemba Walker by far. Kemba to Boston. The reason that I say that, Brad Stevens cannot coach again. And with all due respect, he could not coach Kyrie Irving. Kyrie was not fit to lead. And I throw that out, and I have a lot of love for Kyrie, former teammate of mine. He's got Kobe Bryant problems. Good problems to have. Arguably one of the most talented, if not the most talented player I have ever shared a locker room or played with. And the one thing with Kyrie, and why I say Kobe Bryant problems, Kobe was so good that when he looks at the other guys in the locker room, when he looked at Tatum, when he looked at Rozier, he goes, hey man, well here's the ball, go take over. Because I'm talented enough to do it. And when those guys had the ball in hands, they could not make the same plays that he could make. And in terms of Brad Stevens, Brad runs one of the most intricate offenses in the league. But Kyrie is so good, he goes, hey man, why are we running those? Give me the basketball, let me go to work. Kemba Walker in that system allows Brad Stevens to go out and coach again, allows him to make plays, similar to what? Who? Another little guy, Isaiah Thomas, who had the Boston Celtics with the #1 seed in the East, although they didn't come out the East because of LeBron James, the king, no question there, because of LeBron James and the way they move the basketball. So I'm looking at that move, brother. Kemba Walker, by far, the most underrated move.
Hey, remember when you said KD and Kyrie were overrated?
I said the move. Because
I know you
okay,
can't.
remember this day.
I was just remembering back.
I think we're going to see this clip later on social media.
I was just remembering when you said that.
I was overrated, baby. Because if they do not get a title, which is likely to not happen, that's the only reason they went there paired up. It wasn't just to be buddies.
Okay. I do agree with you about that. That is an underrated move. I think Kemba in Boston is better than Kyrie in Boston.
Those big ears are listening, huh?
Yeah, a little bit. I think I did.
Yeah, they're
I never even thought about it.
They're flopping on your watch.
You call my nose big, you call my ears big, you call everything big.
What about his brain?
Yeah, how about that? Kimbo is, hey, we're talking about a two-time what? Sportsman of the Year. This is a guy with an awesome locker room presence. Going from Kyrie to Kimba, at the very least, is a locker room upgrade of massive proportions for Boston.
We have a poll question, gentlemen.
Agree to disagree when I throw that out. They just didn't miss.
Ryan, you're gonna like this. You're gonna like this because we asked everyone to weigh in on our poll of the day. It was who runs LA. 66% said the Lakers.
Everybody's really good at looking. Everybody's really good at looking.
Who doesn't know that?
Hey, everybody's really good at looking. Hey, remember a minute ago? Not when you said KD and Kyrie were the biggest overrated offseason move. But you remember when you put my water polo picture? Remember that? You put a picture up with me. Are you nervous for what's about to happen?
Let's see.
I was doing a little. Oh, check it out. Check it out. We went to Basketball Reference, right? Ryan Hollins has a Basketball Reference, and this is why. Oh, his stats were down here, right? But you got to zoom in.
Tony Allen for that.
Hold on. Come in here because you got to see this. Nickname. Look at the nickname for Ryan Hollins right there. The booty call.
For what?
Booty
For what? This is not my nickname.
Look.
This is not real TV, okay? Basketball Reference is a fraudulent site for that. And your man does not.
Booty call.
Tony Allen,
the booty call.
Do you care to provide any background?
It's horrible. Hey,
I need some background.
Why are you creeping on me?
Hey, Tony Allen made one reference. He got excited during an interview, and somehow Bradford. Fraudulent, fake news.
That can't just come out of nowhere, right? We need a little explain.
That's how bad that is. It's fake news.
There's nothing behind it.
Tony Allen is a wild card, okay? And Tony Allen said it, literally said it during an interview. Basketball Reference, which is clearly fake news, puts that on their website. So yeah, Basketball Reference, I'm calling you up and putting fake news on. Played in the league 10 years, UCLA before. They ain't never been my nickname.
Ryan,
take a joke from Tony Allen.
Ryan Kenwood, the booty call Hollins.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Hey, why they call Tony Allen said they call you booty call because what? When its team needs somebody, they call you up. Is that how it is? I need a roster spot. We got a roster spot. We need somebody.
That's amazing.
Call up Hollins.
Hey, Will, man, you kind of ripped back there, man. You might not know too much basketball, but you can play some water polo, man.
That was pre-chest there too. Check that out.
Were you a starter back then? Were you a stud?
No, I was a bench warmer. I was a scrub.
You
no
look
doubt.
like you can play though,
No
man.
doubt.
You're full of all airport team. You look good walking through the airport.
Look at right in front of me. That's the greatest water polo player of all time. It's Terry Schroeder. He's the body outside of the Coliseum in LA. You know the male body form. You know, bronze. What happened to me?
That couldn't rub off on you?
No. All the coaching in the world, and I was still a scrub. Some might have said that, I was there for a roster spot when it was needed, but they never called me the booty call.
That nickname.
Not once did they say it. Will down at the end of the bench, we should call him the booty call. They didn't say it about me. I said it about you.
Fake news. Fake news.
Too good.
Thanks, Tony Allen.
All right, well, let's throw out a little quick prediction. You think anything's going to transpire this week in the NBA? Anything you foresee happening?
No, it's the major offseason moves are over. The only thing left to find out is where Russell Westbrook ends up. And I'm going to tell you something. I know we're almost out of time. There are teams that can still build, and in non-traditional ways. When there are these big trades, these big signings, guys are thrown off. Danilo Gallinari to Oklahoma City. There are good, usable players that teams with cap space, like perhaps the Dallas Mavericks, can absorb and continue to get their roster better. Smart teams like the Pacers and the Jazz can still build in that mold. Watch the Thunder and the Pelicans, who have those assets to be the team poised for the next disgruntled star. When Giannis says, if he ever says, I'm out, who's ready? Who's got the assets to trade for him?
It won't be the Knicks. They better trade.
I mean, the Thunder and the Pelicans that have all those assets.
Yeah, no. In all reality, you know what I love?
Booty calls? Wow.
All right, everyone, that's all the time we have for right now. Murray Stoudemire joining us in studio tomorrow. All the deals that go down, we'll have it for you tomorrow. That's it for First Take. Coast to Coast is up next. Booty call.
They are really having a good time over there while the other guys are off, huh? On their First Take show of theirs. Meanwhile, Nabil, I am sorry about what happened in Toronto. I thought that was
You're not. No, you're not. Don't say that, because I know you're not.
Okay, well, are you sorry about what happened in LA or no?
Not really.
You see, there you go.
We clearly are not on the same side in this Kawhi situation, but we can both say we're disappointed with where he went. But that's what it is. NBA's interested. We got more news coming up. Let's get it. Let's go.
We go coast to coast. We go coast to coast.
Could the Chargers roster be drastically different this season? Adam Schefter on Melvin Gordon's demand for a new deal. Plus, where will Russell Westbrook end up? The biggest hurdle for the Heat to bring him to Miami. And will Alabama or Clemson celebrate another championship? The one team that could derail the dynasty.
Every city, every state and time. Get ready, we about to break it down.
I've dropped the F-bomb on every stage I've been on for the last 3 days, so we'll just spare you.
She's my hero. Speaking of heroes, guys, let's go over to London. The All England Club. Charlize Serena Williams taking on Barbara Kuzkova. It is the semis. Dominated by one Serena Williams. That mom really is good at what she does, is it not? Let's go first set. Game tied. 40 all. Shirtkova is able to run across the baseline to save it and stay alive, but guess what? Serena with an ace, she's just too good. Serena wins the first set 6-1 in exactly 57 minutes. Second set match point, Shirtkova, say that 5 times fast. Back to Serena, yeah, for the win, easy. So now she advances to her next final. What does Serena think about that?
I don't know, I was thinking about it. I've been to a lot of semis and finals since I came back from the baby, so yeah, I don't know. I just felt like if I could just get some matches, I could play well here, and I did. So I am. It's really not about 24 or 23 or 25. It's really just about going out there and giving my best effort, no matter what. And no matter what I do, I will always have a great career. And I don't know, like I just kind of let it go this morning. Yeah, I feel really calm about it.
She's evolved so much, hasn't she? I feel calm about it as well. With Serena's win, she advances to her 32nd major final. She's tying Martina Navratilova for the second most finals by any man or woman in tennis history. Just consider that for a moment as you look at that graphic. At 37 years old, 291 days, let's make sure we're specific, she becomes the oldest woman to enter the Grand Slam finalists in the Open era. Serena looking for her first Grand Slam title since the 2017 Australian Open. Can she get it done? But more importantly, what about this? Coming up, we got Rafa and Roger. It's not more important, but it's important. It's an epic showdown. They meet again at the All England Club. We look back at the record-setting battle between a #1 and a #2 a decade ago.
All right, Carrie, we got a developing story, and it's concerning if you're a Chargers fan. Melvin Gordon's agent telling Adam Schefter if his client doesn't get a new contract, he's not showing up to training camp. Negotiations and offers aren't progressing as Gordon would have hoped. He's entering the final year of a contract, a 5th-year option, which pays him $5.6 million. Gordon was at the ESPYs yesterday and ironically spoke about his love of training camp.
I mean, camp sucks. That's not, you know, it is what it is. You know, I hate camp since high school, hate it. But, you know, you just try to go out there and attack it. I think our coach do a good job of taking care of the vets. We get our work in, but, you know, when to scale back and kind of just let the young guys work. The goal is to be the best running back on the best team at the end of the day when it's all said and done. And I'll let you take it from there.
What round should I draft you in fantasy? Okay, I just want to make sure. People are talking and jumping. That is
what we all need to know.
Me first. Don't miss out on me, baby.
All right, Adam Schefter joins us on the phone now. Adam, Melvin Gordon clearly confident in his abilities, which is why he wants to get paid. How close are they?
Well, they're not close at all, which is why he chose today to come out and make that statement that unless there is a new contract before training camp opens in about 10 days, he will not show up then, nor will he show up at all this season until he has a new deal. And if he doesn't have a new deal, then he would like to be traded if the Chargers are not prepared to give him one. Now, the two sides have had talks, but they are not close at this point in time, so much so that, again, we felt compelled to come out and make this statement, and this leads to a very tricky situation in which each side is going to make its case before training camp. The Chargers feel like they've made a fair offer. Melvin Gordon feels like he should be paid amongst the top running backs in the game, right in the category of David Johnson and Todd Gurley, running backs who were rewarded before their contracts are up. And as it is right now, he's just not going to show up when he's scheduled to make $5.6 million. And if he doesn't show up, that means that Austin Eckler and Justin Jackson will move into a primary role in the Chargers' backfield with a team that is poised to compete for a AFC West title and a deep run into the playoffs.
It is interesting because in the last 3 seasons, his 38 touchdowns ranking second in the NFL, only behind Todd Gurley, meaning so much to this squad. We'll see how this all plays out. Thank you, Adam.
Thank you, Bill.
Just to fill some time.
We just watched history.
It's been an emotional free agency. The aftershocks are still being felt after Kawhi Leonard and Paul George teamed up to go to the Clippers. Now all attention focuses on Russell Westbrook and where he will land, since it appears that OKC is the difference. According to our Adrian Wojnarowski, Westbrook is open to a Miami trade, ending his 11-year tenure in OKC. For more on this, we welcome in Brian Lindhorst. So, Wendy, let's talk about this. What logistical hurdles remain for OKC as they try to trade their former MVP and Russell Westbrook?
Yeah, Carrie, this is such a difficult situation. The Miami Heat are hard capped, which means they can't take on any money in a trade. But the Thunder have let anybody know who's called them about Westbrook that they want to get off of money in this trade and get out of the luxury tax, which I can't blame them for. They're rebuilding. Why would they pay tax? So putting these two teams together is difficult. A third team could come in to take some money, but then it comes down to who compensates the third team. Does the Heat send assets, or do the Thunder send assets? Now, I will say this. The Houston Rockets are trying to get in on this. They're trying to get in and possibly do a 3-team trade where they could get their hands on Russell Westbrook. But again, 3-team trades are pretty difficult. But I do think ultimately there's a good chance Westbrook could be a member of the Heat, but it's complicated. It's going to take some time.
It's complicated. It's going to take some time. Quickly, Brian, as a caller, do we know if Westbrook has a particular destination he would like to go?
Or the tabloids. I mean, they're all so desperate.
Well, from what I understand, he's supplied a list to the Thunder with a few teams on it, a short list, but the Heat are at the top of the list.
All right. Elsewhere in the NBA news, Kawhi Leonard has signed a shorter contract than initially anticipated, agreeing to a 3-year deal that includes a player option for the 2021-22 season. What does this mean for his future and the future of the league, if you will?
Yeah, so this, Carrie, look, I give Kawhi credit. This was a masterful power play to the nth degree, not only forcing the trade with Paul George, but also, getting the Clippers to essentially agree to sacrifice all that for only 2 guaranteed years. And Kerry, let's look at the 2021 free agent class, because Kawhi Leonard just potentially joined it. It is loaded. It is now the next free agency class we're going to keep an eye on next year, much shallower. Paul George is going to join that class, and also Giannis Antetokounmpo, if he doesn't extend with the Bucks, could be in that class. That is why you see teams like the Knicks only signing players to 2-year contracts. So countdown to 2021, Carrie.
You just said that Kawhi made a powerful move. It's always the quiet ones you got to be careful of, Brian. That's what they say anyway. Meanwhile, Kawhi could once again headline a loaded free agency class in 2 years, as you just mentioned, Rudy. Thank you so much for joining us here on Coast to Coast, my friend.
All right, so I'm not gay.
David Ortiz underwent a 3rd surgery earlier this week for complications resulting from a gunshot wound that took place on June the 9th in the Dominican Republic. According to his wife Tiffany, he's recovering well and in good spirits. All right, still ahead on Coast to Coast. With so many college quarterbacks on the move, which transfer will have the biggest impact? Paul Feinbaum, he's in the house. Plus, a high school football coach shows us why that belief can pay off. Rob Mendez and his incredible message at the SB coming up in just a short bit.
Hey guys, real quick before we hop into the video, I want to give a shout out to Gta5.com. I figured I'd put this on this video since it's sort of relevant. This video's prices. Again, link in the description. You can check out. They have PC, Xbox One, PS4 shark cards, in addition to a bunch of other really cheap and awesome games. But look at this. For example, this week, and I think it's still going on. I don't know how long this is going to last, but the Xbox One shark cards are $10. These are the $20 shark cards. You get it for $10. That's a pretty good deal if you want to check it out. But anyway, I thought I'd let you know about that. Now, let's get on to the video.
Oh guys, sorry, I did not realize I kept streaming.
Hey everyone,
sorry.
With another Gta5 video, and today I'm going to show you guys the best way for broke players to get $1 million. This is not going to be for GTA veterans because at this point you probably have most of the stuff I'll talk about, and you probably know the best ways to go about making money. If you're not making a new character, or if you're not starting from scratch, or if you don't have $0 in your bank account, your best bet is to go watch the video I did a few days ago called The Ultimate Money Guide. I'll leave a link to that in the description. I talk a little bit more about ways to make money if you do already have, $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, and you already have a CEO office and a biker club and, all the stuff that Rockstar have added to the game. This video is going to be, like I said, starting from scratch. So assuming you have absolutely nothing, I'll show some of the ways that you can go about getting $1 million and then sustaining it. So hopefully this helps you out. If it does, I'd appreciate it if you could drop the video a like. And if you're new here and you like what I do, I'd appreciate it if you could hit that subscribe button. As the title states, broke to millionaire in 3 easy steps. And that's basically all it takes. 3 steps to get you $1 million. And then from there,
yo guys, the thing is still going on. I don't know if you guys know that. It's like the promo. We thought it was last night because we stayed up pretty late, but it wasn't. So, but we had a fun time. If you go watch our streams, the Ultimate Gamer was my friends, and mine is always Fire Navy. So yeah, go check that out. Pretty fun time.
It doesn't take, that long to get to level 12. So level 12 is what we're gonna need only because of heists. I'll get to that in a minute or two. Next part, get a fast car. If you don't have your own, for example, in the gameplay you'll see my secondary character has an adder, so I don't need to worry about this. But if you don't have your own, if you're actually starting from scratch, you have nothing, look out for either a Felon, an F620, or a Jackal. Those are probably the fastest and most common vehicles that you'll see around in GTA Online, so they're easy to find, easy to get, and you can use those vehicles up until you have enough money to buy your own car. And, the benefit of having a fast vehicle is just getting around free mode, using them in contact missions. I mean, it's pretty obvious why you would need a decent and fast vehicle in GTA Online. Now, once you have a fast car, you're going to need a garage. Again, this is assuming you don't have a garage already. There's 2 options that I'll give you guys. The first option is to buy the cheapest one. It's $25,000. That's nothing. Like $25,000, you can make that in 2 minutes. The problem is it's not in a great location. It's on the eastern side of the map, kind of by the pay and spray down there at the bottom right in the industrial area of the city, and it is only 2 cars. Now that's good if you just want to get up and running.
See guys, it's still on the sale.
You have access to the mechanic.
But not the apartments. The apartments still
that should be like
that
one of the first things you buy, and you can go with one of these 2-car garages. But what I would do, just because it helps you out with making some money, it may cost a little bit more, so you may have to do.
I'm gonna try to get a night club today.
Buy one of the 6-car garages up in Sandy Shores. Now, the downside is that it's up in Sandy Shores, so it's not in the greatest location. But we're gonna actually, or what I'm gonna do in this video or in this gameplay, is I'm going to show you guys why that 6-car garage is useful. I believe it's only like $68,000, so it's not that much more expensive than the $25,000 one, and you do get the benefit of having 4 extra car slots, so that's what I would do if I were in your shoes. But the reason I picked the one out in Sandy Shores is because there's a method of getting these modded Sand King XLs to spawn, and that takes place up in Sandy Shores. And that leads us into the money part of this step, getting $200,000. There's multiple ways you can get this amount of money. If you are above level 6, you can do the flight school. That's something many people forget about. And just completing that, you get anywhere between $200,000 to $250,000. The things aren't, like, the missions in them, they're not even that hard to do. And I believe the most you can get, if you do get all gold, is $250K. So that's a super easy way, super quick way to get some money to start out with. So if you haven't done the flight school, I would suggest go doing the flight school. Apart from that, though, getting back to the Sand Kings, just drive around Sandy Shores until you find Sand King. That's the first step. And then if you want, just to be safe, go to the Pay and Spray and put a tracker and all that on it. So if it does blow up, somebody kills you, then you can call it again. You don't have to go around searching for another one. But once you have that Sand King XL, what we're going to do is basically drive up and down Route 68. And right across the street from the Pay and Spray on that street, there's a car shop, like a used car shop. And from the hours of 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. in-game, one of those modded Sand Kings will spawn. There's 2 different versions. There's a yellow version and there's a blue version. The blue version sells for, I believe, $18,000. The yellow version sells for $17,000, which isn't a whole lot. But if you get a garage full of them and you sell them every 48 minutes, that's just some extra money that you can get by, you know, for the most part, doing nothing. You're just driving up and down the road until one of these vehicles spawn. And then, since we have our garage, our 6-car garage in Sandy Shores, that's right down the street, you can go put it in there and then repeat the process and continue getting these modded Sand Kings until your garage is full. That's another way of getting the $200,000. Apart from those 2, the flight school and the Sand King, you can do free mode jobs.
If you want to play with me, my name is ZP Navy on PlayStation.
So you can tag along with friends if they're doing VIP missions. You can also have friends set up some heists and you can join them. I mean, getting $200,000, it's fairly easy. Another route you can go if you don't have any friends, if you're just doing this solo, you can do some contact missions. Unfortunately, though, you're not going to have access to a lot of the good ones at, you know, super low level if you are low level. But getting $200,000 is the goal because, and this goes into step 2, when you get $200,000, go ahead and buy the Del Perro Heights apartment. This is the one on the west side of the map, kind of by the pier. It's right next to the gun store. And the reason we're going to choose that one is because it's actually the least expensive high-end apartment, and you're going to need a high-end apartment for heists. And a little side note about that specific apartment, you can either choose the apartment 7 or the apartment 20. The apartment 20 is $5,000 more, but it has a significantly better view, so I would go with that one if the view is, you know, something you're looking for. And now once you actually have that apartment, you can begin heists. Now, unfortunately, you know, there is no secret method of getting $1 million super easily, super quickly, unless you are doing glitches or getting modded money. So this part is going to be a little grindy. However, doing heists, especially if you're doing it for the first time, they're really fun. And if you can get them to work flawlessly, not have people lag out, or have randoms just completely ruin it for you, it could be a good time. And it won't actually feel like a grind. And then also the benefit of doing heists, if you are a lower level character, if you don't have anything unlocked, this will unlock some better vehicles. The Hydra, the Insurgent, the Armored Kuruma, you know, you get access to a lot of vehicles, a lot of really cool stuff just by doing the heists. So that's another benefit. But our goal for step 2 is to get $1 million. That sounds like a lot, but by doing all of the heists, if you want to continue selling the Sand Kings, doing free mode jobs, tagging along with VIP missions, if you have friends that are doing that, getting $1 million won't be too hard. I mean, it might take you an hour or 2, but it shouldn't be that bad. Side note, I'll leave a link in the description to this website. There's a website called Gta5, and it's GTA looking for heists, I believe.com. I think that's what it stands for. And basically, people go in there and they post when they're doing heists, what platform they're on. And if you don't have anybody that wants to do heists with you, go on that website and you can find people that are actually competent and good to do these heists with you. Because we all know if you do heists with randoms, more than likely they'll mess something up and then you'll have to do it all over again. So that's step 2. Get the apartment.
That's obviously gonna drop you down back to like $0 or close to it. And then just do heists until you get enough money. The reason the goal is at $1 million for step 2 is because that's how much it actually costs to buy the cheapest office, and that's what we're going for. However, if you're watching this the week I'm posting it, there's an event week going on where offices are 50% off. So if you're doing this, you know, as the week I'm making this video, then you only need $500,000 because the goal is to get that cheapest office, which is the Maze Bank West. That's the one I own. Honestly, I don't see a reason to buy anything above that because you're not going to be in the office that long. And it's in a fairly good location. Like, it's not a bad spot to have. It's a pretty good view, too. But this does lead us to step 3, and that's buying that Maze Bank West office. And the reason we're going to buy it is to become a CEO, not to sell crates, although you can do that if you want. But the reason to become a CEO is because you have access to being a VIP regardless of how much money you have in your account. One optional step that I would do that's highly recommended is to buy a buzzard, which is also 50% off the week I'm making this. So, you know, if you are hitting that $1 million, then you can spend it on an office and a buzzard. The buzzard is just going to help tremendously in these next 2 missions, which is just going to make us the amount of money we need. Now go into an invite-only lobby and do the missions Headhunter and Sightseer. These are the easiest missions probably as a VIP. If you do have a buzzard, it makes it even easier because you can fly around. In an invite-only lobby, you can invite some friends if you want to speed this process along, get them some extra money as well. But once you become a VIP, then it's basically endless amounts of money in the easiest way. I mean, you still can do heists, but when you do that, you obviously have to take into account all the loading times. The part I love about being a VIP is that this all takes place in free modes. There's no loading times. And if you want to take it a step further, there's the wave method, which will generate you roughly $211,000 per hour, which is on par with, you know, CEO stuff, the business stuff from the bikers. And the way this works, you start out with the Headhunter mission, complete it, wait for the cooldown, and then do the hostile takeover mission. I believe you can do the one at the LSIA, and that's like the easiest one. Then you wait for the cooldown to go away, you complete another Headhunter mission, then wait for the 3rd cooldown, and then back to back to back, you can do Sightseer, Headhunter, and then Hostile Takeover, which, like I said, will generate you around $200,000 to $210,000 per hour. It's super simple. You can do it in invite-only lobbies, so you don't have to worry about other people. You can invite friends along, but that's basically the steps, because if you keep doing that process in a few hours, you'll be back at $1 million, and then from there, if you want, you can go and buy, you know, the CEO warehouses if you want to get into that. If you want to do the biker businesses, you can get into that because that's just passive income. Again, if you want to learn a little bit more about those, check out the video I did a few days ago. The link will be in the description. Those are the 3 easy steps to get $1 million. I mean, it's fairly straightforward. The ultimate goal is to get a CEO office just to become a VIP, and then from there, you have an unlimited amount of options. So hopefully this video helped you out. You know, one other thing I can say before I do end is that just be, especially if you are broke and if you're doing this to get some money, don't buy everything. You know, if you don't need ammo, if you don't need guns, don't buy them. If you don't need a car, don't buy it. Don't buy the yacht, that's for sure, unless you have a, $20+ million because it's a useless piece of junk that just sits out in the ocean. Just be smart when it comes to spending your money. You know, when a new vehicle comes out, when a new DLC comes out, unless it's something you absolutely need, maybe wait a few weeks if you can, if you're patient, and then there might be a discount. And I guess if you get really desperate, then you can buy a shark card, which, like I said, on Gta5's website, you might find them for really cheap. So I would just have that stuff bookmarked every now and then, check on it, because
you can go to Conoco, then throw an egg salad party, but not just any egg salad party.
Out if you are broke and you need $1 million. If you have any questions, just ask away in the comment section. I'll do my best to answer them. Thank you all for watching though. Drop a like, subscribe, all that stuff. And as always, I will see you guys in the next one. the top 10 worst purchases in GTA Online. Now, I've done a video on this topic in the past. It was the top 5 worst purchases, but that was about a year ago. And since then, there have been quite a number of horrible purchases that someone could make in online. So in this video, hopefully, maybe if you're a new player or if you haven't played in a while and you just want to know what not to buy, then this video should be a good guide on that topic. Now, as always, you can let me know in the comment section if you have any differing opinions, but getting us started, I'll say one thing. In the last video I did, I think the number 1 worst purchase I said in that video was the safe in the office. And I think that in the game is still the worst purchase because it literally does nothing. At least everything else that I'm gonna mention in this video does something. The office safe cost you $500,000, I believe, and it literally does nothing. There's no purpose for it in the game. So I would say that is still the worst purchase in the game. But since I mentioned that in that video, we're gonna talk about some new stuff for the most part. So number 10, and these really aren't in a particular order, but we're just gonna list them anyway. The Luxor Deluxe and the Swift Deluxe, the gold plane and the gold helicopter. I really don't know what Rockstar were thinking when they added these to the game. I mean, I think they were originally added because at the time everyone had billions of dollars because of mods, and they, I guess, wanted to make some sort of vehicle for those people to buy, but they just don't make any sense. They're the most expensive item, well, the plane is at least. It's the most expensive vehicle in the game at $10 million, and it does nothing. The worst part about it is that not only does it cost a lot, but you can't go into passive mode, even though these aren't attack vehicles. So, especially now when in the air there's so many different aircraft, if you fly one of these things, you're gonna get killed because you can't go into passive mode and you can't put flares on it. So, the gold plane and the gold heli are probably one of the worst things you could buy in the game. Next up, I would say the MC businesses that aren't cocaine. The document forgery, the weed, the meth, I don't know what the other one is, but they are all horrible. At least with cocaine, you get a decent amount of money per hour, but the other ones, you don't make enough money to even justify purchasing them. It costs so much money to run those businesses, and you barely get anything out of it. And it takes so long to complete. So if you're looking for ways to make money, whatever you do, do not buy any of the businesses apart from the cocaine business. The next one, speaking of businesses, I would say these small and medium warehouses from the first CEO update. Those are horrible purchases as well. The way that business works is the more crates you have, the more money you get. And with a large warehouse, you can get 111 crates, which I think turns into like $2.1 million. But with the small and the medium ones, you only get, I think it's like 11 or some small number for the small warehouse, and then maybe 40 for the medium warehouse, and you barely get any money from those. And the worst part is that you can't even sell them. So the small and the medium warehouses for the original, the crate system or the crate business, you pretty much are going to be wasting money if you do end up purchasing them. Now number 7, and I think I did mention this in that original video, but it still stands, the houses in the hills, the stilt houses. In theory, these could have been really cool. They're a great idea. But the one major problem is that the garages are not connected to the houses. So you can get 10-car garages in the house, but in order to get access to the garage, you have to walk out of the house through a loading screen and then walk into the garage through another loading screen. And that alone makes those houses horrible purchases. Yeah, some of them have cool views, but it's not worth it because it's just such an inconvenience to actually visit them. Get an office garage. You can store 60 cars in it. That's all you need. Maybe when mansions come out, they'll be better, but at the moment, the houses in the game are just not very good. Okay, now number 6. This is a recent vehicle, the Bambushka. This is a $6 million aircraft. It is the Russian AC-130. It's got cannons. It's huge. It can hold a ton of people. But only Rockstar could mess it up because it can only withstand like one rocket. And the thing is so damn slow that it's so easy to take out. And with the addition of the explosive sniper in the game, I think it only takes like 3 explosive sniper bullets and it blows up. This thing has absolutely no armor, and because of that, it is a horrible purchase for $6 million. Yeah, I know you can get it for a little bit cheaper if you do the missions, but even at that price, it's horrible. I would say at $1 million, this thing is still a horrible purchase because it serves no purpose. If it was good, yeah, it'd be fine. But the fact that it literally does not move, it is so slow, and the cannons don't go that far, and the armor is non-existent, it's a death trap. Anyone in the game can easily take you out, and you really can't do anything about it. So the Bambushka, never buy that vehicle. Now, number 5.
Know what you can go do? Fill the Conoco and go skip stones in the Good River after demonstrating a Belgian wrist snap as stone collides.
The yacht. This probably varies from person to person, but to me, the yacht, in hindsight, was a horrible purchase. It cost me $7 million, I believe, and I really don't ever do anything on the yacht. The only reason I've ever gone on my yacht and actually used it is for clothing glitches. So maybe it's worth it to some people for that, but the yacht just doesn't serve a purpose. I know you can do piracy prevention, but no one really cares if you do that anymore, and it's only $30,000, I believe, that you get, which is nothing. If yachts maybe had some mini games or some cool stuff on them, they would totally be worth the price tag, but you're basically buying a $5 to $7 million stationary boat in the middle of the ocean that does nothing. That just looks good, maybe. So coming in at number 4, now this vehicle is actually not out yet, but it is such a horrible purchase. I really don't know why Rockstar thinks someone is going to purchase this. I mean, I'm sure there probably will be someone that does purchase it, but I don't see what the reason for purchasing this vehicle is. And I'm talking about the Laser. The Laser Jet. It's coming to Warstock Cash and Carry in a few weeks, and it is going to cost $6.5 million. $6.5 million for a jet that spawns in the military base, which if you own a Fort Zancudo hangar, you can get into for free, which allows you to get and steal the lasers very easily. The only reason you would buy a laser is to have it as a personal vehicle, because you can't even put flares on it. You can't even customize it, really. There's really nothing different between the purchasable laser and the laser you get from Fort Zancudo. So I really don't know why they're adding it to the game as a purchasable item at $6.5 million. Maybe if it was like $2 million, it may be good to have just as a, just because you can call it as a personal vehicle and you can call it wherever you want, but it just doesn't offer much more than the Hydra or the Pyro. So why would someone pay $6.5 million for the option to own that? Unless you have billions of dollars, it's a horrible, horrible purchase. Now at number 3, this is somewhat of a general or broad topic, so I'm just kind of sorry about that, but I had to put it in here. Every single Pegasus vehicle that's not a Hydra, Buzzard, or Cargo Bob is pointless. There may be some uses occasionally for some of them, but every single one of the Pegasus vehicles I own, I think they've stayed in the Pegasus list forever. I don't think I've ever really called them. And most of them cost a decent amount of money, like $1 million or $2 million. So it's not even like these things are cheap. And with the addition of all these new aircraft and all these new special vehicles, the Pegasus vehicles are just irrelevant now. I mean, why buy a tank when you can get an APC that's a personal vehicle that you can call whenever you want, and it does more damage, and it has more armor than the Rhino tank, And that ties into number 2 on this list, the Tugboat. I know it's technically a Pegasus vehicle, but I wanted to make something specific for the Tugboat because, oh my god, I don't know who thought that releasing a Tugboat that doesn't move in the water because it goes so slow was worth it. I forget how much it costs, but it's quite a bit of money, and it may be one of the worst purchases. Apart from the Bambushka, I think the Tugboat was my 2nd worst purchase in GTA Online. I mean, really, you could say this for any boat, because boats in the game are just pointless, because there aren't many ways to use them. There's not much out in the ocean to explore. But the tugboat is so slow, it blows up in one little explosion. You can't really put anything on it, or the back just sinks into the water. And overall, I just feel really disappointed because when they showed it in the trailers and when they announced the tugboat was coming back, I thought it would be a great vehicle to add. I thought they would actually make it useful and make it good. But that seems to be the norm for Rockstar. Take something that could be cool and make it horrible. Because that is what they did with the tugboat. And then that leads us to number one. I had to put this in here because I asked in my Discord, what do you guys, in your opinion, what are some of the worst purchases you guys have ever made? So many people responded with shark cards. And I can totally understand that. I only buy shark cards sometimes when I'm doing giveaways and when I'm like super desperate on money. But not once have I bought a shark card and actually felt, you know what, I got my money's worth out of that shark card. It's such a joke. $100 of real life money for only $8 million in the game, considering most vehicles in the game cost $2 to $3 million now. $100 for basically like 1 or 2 vehicles. That shouldn't be how it is. So I would say shark cards are probably one of the worst purchases in online. I know some people out there, you want to get up and started very quickly. You don't want to have to grind, and I can understand that, but still, shark cards are just not a good purchase. So there you guys have it. That is my list, my top 10 worst purchases in GTA Online. Hopefully, like I said, if you're a new player or a player getting back into the game, this video is somewhat of a guide on what not to buy in the game, what not to waste your money on. Let us know in the comment section if you guys have any other things you want to add to this list, but that is going to do it for me. Thank you all for watching. Please drop a like if you did enjoy.
So earlier this week, Rockstar released the free crawler, and one of the things I pointed out on my Buyer Beware video was that it had the option to have a snorkel in the Los Santos custom shop, but that snorkel didn't actually work. Like, it doesn't allow the car to venture out in deeper bodies of water and still function. It still cuts off or shuts down in normal depths. So I started to think about this, and then I got a tweet from one of my good friends. You've seen him on videos and helps me with live streams and whatnot, Sorty, who actually asked me this. He said, "Hey Ross, the snorkel feature on the free crawler doesn't work. Are there any other features that you know that Rockstar added that are pointless or don't work?" So I've done a couple of videos on maybe some of the unused or forgotten about features of the game. So today we're going to be talking about features that are pointless or useless or don't work, just like the snorkel on the free crawler. And I guess that's the first thing we're going to start out with today, car snorkels. Now, one thing I actually learned while doing some research for this video is if a car comes default with a snorkel, like I think a couple of the gun running cars came default with a snorkel, it'll work. But if it's an add-on at the Los Santos custom shop, like I think that Dubsta has an option, and certainly the free crawler, the new one, has an option, it won't work. It's cosmetic only, which is definitely deceiving. Like, don't go driving your car in the beach or in the Zancudo swamp and expect it to live. It's not going to happen. So that's just a heads up right there that the snorkel on a lot of cars, if it doesn't come on there by default, are not going to work, which is super disappointing because it makes them totally pointless and worthless other than just looking cool. Number 2 today, the interaction menu gives us a lot of great features, the ability to eat snacks, drink cola to heal our health. However, one of the things we can do is smoke cigarettes, which literally does nothing other than take away our damage and make us do a smoking animation for all we can do is smoke cigarettes, which literally does nothing other than take away our damage and make us do a smoking animation for a little bit. Literally the only purpose I could see for doing something like this is to role play or take a Snapmatic. Other than that, the cigarettes serve no purpose. They literally just take health away from you. So in no situation is it useful. And because they're in the same category as the snacks, if you have them in your inventory and you're in the heat of the moment in a battle and you start spamming your snacks, you might accidentally spam cigarettes and then you're stuck doing a smoking animation while you're basically frozen and you just lose health. So I almost wish Rockstar would put that in a separate category, not put the snacks and other things that end up healing us, but that's sort of been a pet peeve of mine since day one. The number 3 spot today, light LED bars. So there's a couple of vehicles in game. One of the new ones is the Patriot, actually, that has, you know, new upgrades that you can do. The Patriot actually has an LED light bar that you can apply on top. And I was thinking to myself, okay, this is awesome. You know, I wonder if I'll get this super bright light that'll appear on the top of my vehicle. And the answer is no. And this is the case for a lot of vehicles, whether it's the Coil Brawler, whether it's the Patriot. I mean, I'm sure there's like 5 or 10 more that, you know, I just can't think of off the top of my head right now, where Rockstar give you the option to add extra lights to a vehicle that don't work.
Hit me up if you want to play, anybody.
Why have the option to have those lights on there? If you guys have been watching my videos for a while now, you know that's one of the most frustrating things that I dislike Rockstar doing, and that is, you know, having extra lights on a vehicle and then not utilizing them. It just doesn't make sense to me. Maybe that's just my OCD or something kicking in, but it really does make them useless and pointless to have on the vehicle. The number 4 spot today, Lester's Locate a Vehicle. So Lester has a lot of great services, whether it's off the radar, or whether it's cops turn blind eye, or, you know, remove wanted level. But one of his features is just so pointless.
So I'm just in crates right now, trying to get some money, trying to get 100,000 or more.
It's going to be a random vehicle. It's not like he finds a supercar in a barn for you or anything like that. And number 3, when you're done with the vehicle, you get a wanted level. So you literally pay Lester to find you a lackluster car, and when you're done with it, the cops come after you. That's like a lose-lose-lose situation. So I'm not sure why Rockstar decided that was a good idea. I don't know how many people utilize this, but it's by far one of the worst features in Grand Theft Auto Online. It's just so pointless, and it doesn't make sense why really anyone would use that. Number 5 spot today, Merryweather airstrikes. So even in the beginning of Grand Theft Auto Online, these Merryweather airstrikes were pretty gimmicky. You had to pay a lot of money, you had to get a flare, you had to throw a flare, then a jet would go by and drop a bomb. Like, who stands still for like a minute? That's not going to work. So, number 1, it was ineffective from day 1. Now we have tons of aircrafts that can be stored inside of hangars. We have aircrafts that can specifically have bombs on them, so you can do your own bombing runs. So it just doesn't make sense anymore. Not only has it become obsolete, it's also useless and pointless. In fact, I think the coolest part about calling in that airstrike is the flare you get. It looks awesome in first person, great for snapmatics and role-playing and stuff like that. Not the actual airstrike itself, which to me doesn't really hold any merit because I don't think I've killed a single person with that airstrike. The number 6 spot today, the remote bombs you can put on vehicles in the Los Santos custom shop.
Comment down below what do you think the most useless thing in the game is.
But this just doesn't work.
I think it's like the snorkelers for the cars. It's where like it works if you buy one with it, but if you don't have it, it's it doesn't work.
Bring it back. So it's kind of a pointless feature to put on a vehicle that you actually are going to be looking forward to driving. So I'm not sure why really anyone would use this all that seriously. I mean, unless you're going out of your way to just make bait cars over and over and over again for unsuspecting players, I mean, you can do that. But as far as it being effective and useful for you, that's a negative. It's really not useful in any way, shape, or form. And over again for unsuspecting players, I mean, well, that custom shop. So I think this used to work on like new players back in the day. But this just doesn't work anymore. It's totally useless. And the reason I say it's useless is because A, no one falls for them. But B, if you do that, you like lose your car. Like it takes you out of the Los Santos custom.
They don't even care. That's so weird.
So it's kind of a pointless feature.
Wait, why do I have the cops for going into the freaking cop site? I could have just said, oh, I'm working for them, and be like, give me the stuff.
Unless you're going out of your way to just make bait cars over and over and over again for unsuspecting players, I mean, you can do that. But as far as it being effective and useful for you, that's a negative. It's really not useful in any way, shape, or form. At the number 7 spot today, this one is sleeping. So in basically every place we can buy in Grand Theft Auto Online properties, there's always a bed. Like, why? Like, I get it that the bed is supposed to symbolize that I guess you can spawn there, but why not make it something more useful? Like, we can spawn in our CEO offices. Like, why can't we just spawn sitting in our computer chair? Or, you know, playing the video game that's in the middle of the office. Like, in the yacht, there's a bedroom. In the apartments, there's a bedroom. And I know it makes sense in the apartments, but, you know, sleeping itself doesn't do anything. Like, if you sleep for 5 minutes, it should, like, rejuvenate your health or something like that. Or it should give you some perk for, like, 1 or 2 minutes in-game. It just does nothing. You just... lay there. You don't even sleep, you just toss and turn. So again, one of the more useless features that you can do in Grand Theft Auto Online. I don't know why Rockstar included it. Maybe to make the game feel more realistic, but it just doesn't serve a purpose. Whereas obviously sleeping in real life is probably the most important thing you do. The number 8 spot today, telescopes. So I know what you're saying, Mr. Boss, I use this for all my clothing glitches. Okay, well Rockstar didn't intend for the telescopes to be like that. So let's assume that the telescopes don't help you with clothing glitches. Would you ever use them? The answer is no. In fact, they don't help you see at all. They make your vision worse. And if there's ones out in public, you have to pay for them. So you lose money to get a horrible blurry view. For the most part, absolutely nothing. So again, take away the fact that they can potentially help with clothing glitches in online, because I know they do that if they haven't been patched. I don't follow, you know, clothing glitches all that closely, but if they do, then that's still effective. But again, Rockstar didn't intend for it to be that way, so we're not going to intend for it to be that way in this video either. The number 9 spot today, singing RP. You can do this on the roller coaster. You can do this in the
could always dress up like a sexy secretary. Look me in the eye. Oh, is that nothing?
you brush your teeth last night? No. Huh? You got to get in the habit of doing that as soon as you're done eating dinner or before you go to bed. Okay? Come and brush your teeth. Get dressed. You want to go walk with me?
Well, think about it, okay?
You don't want to go take a walk? Okay. Get dressed and brush your teeth. go with me so we can take all 3 dogs at the same time, babe? Oh. It'll just take 15 minutes. Come on. Get dressed. I'll get your clothes for you. You don't need to shower right now? Did you take one yesterday? Here, dress. You just wear your slides. Hey, babe. Get dressed.
I'm getting reports that we didn't get hold of those packages. That's too bad. If you want me to organize another deal, come back to the office and I'll make it happen.
Hey, gorgeous. You're getting drunk tonight.